you doing, David? How you been? Huh? A little late, so we'll give Nancy 1 minute to get back in here. I'm out of there then. Touchy-feely. How'd Nancy go?
I don't know, she ran out.
Well, we get going anyway, because we got a public hearing. So anytime you're ready, David. Good evening, welcome to the April 21st meeting of the Waterboro Board of Selectmen. You'd all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, good evening and welcome to the meeting. The only announcement I think that we have today, still have compost bins for sale. These are the bins, as one on display at the transfer station, as well as, is there still one here in the lobby or no? No? They'll be on sale until May 2nd, and there's a whole series of things you can get with that composting pail, right? You can get the wing dinger and all of that stuff that goes along with it. So if you're interested, see Clint up at the transfer station during your weekly run to the transfer station. So appointments this evening, we have a 6 o'clock public hearing scheduled for a pawnbrokers ordinance that the board has been working on. And now call that meeting to order. Waterboro Board of Selectmen will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, April 21st, at 6 p.m. to review and receive comments from the public for the following. Waterboro Pawnbrokers Ordinance. I presume that there are copies over on the table if anybody's interested. Well, I guess I would open it up to comment if anyone has any, to the big crowd that's here this evening.
Do you want to do a public reading?
No. No.
What is that, 10-point font?
Any comments from the board? Input? Suggested recommendations, changes? I think we've aired this out a bit. It's been, a month or so that we've been working this. And I want to thank Tammy Jo for kind of crunching through all the different ordinances and working this one up. A little bit of a number of towns in here, right?
Yes.
Basically. So.
Yep, and the town attorneys looked at it.
If sensing no input from the public that's here this evening, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn the...
You got a motion to adjourn?
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Opposed? Thank you. We'll deal with this later in the agenda. At 6:30, we do have a visit from MDOT Commissioner David Cole. He'll be here. I think I believe Tom will be bringing him in. And then at 6:45, we have a presentation relative to the Eco Excellent Award from Maine. Moving along through the agenda, however, any hearing of delegation? I don't see anybody jumping up. Town administrators report.
I'm trying to take minutes too.
Oh, okay.
I completed and sent in the form for the 2010 heating fuel season through the Portland Council of Governments bid. This bid is for heating, fuel, and propane, and I included all of the town buildings. We don't have to participate if we don't want to, but they just wanted our are, I mean, we're not obligated, obligated where we sent in the bid to go with them, so. Last year, they came in higher than what we had. And Willis is here tonight, but Willis left us some information this afternoon in regards to Eco Maine grant on communities that have large summer populations and drop-off recycling. And Eco is looking for one or two communities, two communities to participate. There's no, it's being no expense to the communities that are, what, are they gonna choose them?
What's that?
Are they gonna choose the two communities?
I don't know how they're gonna, I got that yesterday from Shelley, and
What they'll do is send out a postcard around, I think it's Memorial Weekend. And the program is to stay active until August for about 13 weeks. And Willis had said if the selectmen are interested in submitting Waterboro to let him know, and he'll take care of it for us. And also too, this year there is a new requirement through the state to register conservation easements. It's a law that went into effect in 2007, but they never set up the registry until 2009. So they have a deadline of July 1st. You have to register all conservation easements, and it's $30. And then after this year, the deadline is the 31st. So any of the easements that's in the town's name, we'll have to register now under the town, and then next year, if the easements are over into the land trust name, the land trust will have to register.
Does, so any of the, and there are some developments that have been done, right, in the last umpteen years, that set aside certain land as part of that property that went into quote-unquote conservation easement. So we have to register those? Is the registration nothing more than, oh, here it is, and so there's no management plan, I would guess it's coming next?
Well, yeah, that's probably coming next. One of the questions that they ask in the registration is what's been doing to maintain it? They want to know the acreage. They want to know the name of the easement, the name of the original landowner, the current landowner, third-party holder, date of execution of the easement, the county and town within where the easement is located, acreage, date of original easement recording, book and page, date and recording along with any book and page for any amendments, date of the recent stewardship monitoring visit and report. And if we have our own tracking number, they want us to include our own tracking number.
And it's $30 per
No, it's
parcel or $30 per?
$30 per organization.
And how many of these easements do we have? I know,
I
some.
think
Well, is a conservation easement that is part of a subdivision that is not in the name of the town, right?
right, the deed actually has to say conservation easement.
So if there was a plan registered in York County that has so many acres designated as conservation, that fits that bill?
If it's designated as conservation, yes. If it's a conservation easement.
And how do we keep track of that?
We never have that over the past. I mean, we gotta go through all of our deeds. I think we have at least 3 or 4 in subdivisions that have conservation easements.
First thing the state does is they get you to register them, and then
Yeah.
the next thing they'll come and get them.
Well, I'm not sure they'll come and get them, but they'll certainly say, okay, what's your management plan, and
yeah.
et cetera, et cetera.
That was tongue in cheek.
Right. I mean, to a great extent, there are refuge areas, right, in Lake Arrowhead that were established and approved by the DEP back in 68, 69. Are those quote-unquote conservation easements?
We'd have to look at them all. This is,
You mean the recreational area?
Well, there's refuge areas, right? And that subdivision, there were refuge, I think,
yeah,
is how they were delineated on the print, right? I mean, they're wetlands and things like that,
Way off
right?
the beaten path. I mean, that's a question that we could get answered quickly. I would ask you to leave us out of it for as long as you can. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
that $30 isn't in the budget.
when Ken had called about something else today, you know, he reminded me that we really have to do this, and I had a lot of questions on it, and he says, basically, you gotta look for it to make sure when it was recorded as a conservation easement.
What was this LD that did this?
I have no idea, I don't know if they have it in, it was done in 2007, but I didn't set the registry up until this year.
Now, if you go into the registry of deeds, though, and pull up town of Waterboro easements, it'll pull up all the easements, right?
Well, yeah, but it depends on, sometimes they're registered town of Waterboro, sometimes they're registered as inhabitants of the town of Waterboro.
Well, yeah, but,
And that only goes back to 1962,
yeah,
Yes,
right now,
something
yeah,
like that. So anything before that,
you have to go to the registry.
Oh,
and get it.
but what if it's contained within a development? It's not deeded to the town of Waterboro.
Well, they said it has to be deeded
It's
to the
set
town of
aside, it's
Waterboro.
set aside as a conservation easement, and that's part of, you know, they set aside the back of the lot, right, so that they can do, you know, denser development on the front of the lot, and I think of one at least on the middle road that was done that way.
That is a conservation easement, and that's the one I found.
And is that deeded to the town of Waterboro?
Yes, it is.
Oscar
40
Landing
acres.
says a conservation easement
I
too.
was just going to mention
40
also
acres.
landing too,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
So how many of these are there out there?
Who knows?
You'd have to go to
And
the.
so how long, and it looks like a task that you're not going to do in an hour. you know?
No.
Willis?
That's that lumber company that got all that land from Jim Simons, everything got a lot of easements in that.
Not sure, I think it's, most of that's all covered as it's under tree growth.
My goodness, Fred.
Fred's playing with his phone again.
Space invaders.
All you do is.
Yeah, my phone's ringing right now.
Yeah.
You sat on your phone. Wow, I guess, what did you say,
Yeah.
July 31st?
July 1st.
Or July 1st?
I do
And
have,
what is the penalty if you don't do it?
I don't know, I didn't get into that part.
Let us not discuss this in public meeting.
Pack a lunch and spend the day in Alfred, that's,
Well, I do have a list of deeds, and I have copies of the deeds, so I'll just have to go through, see which ones are conservation easements.
I'm guessing if you missed one, they could probably not go to Alfred and look it up
Yeah,
themselves.
and the planning board may, you know, most of them come out of planning board, so.
Mm. Wow.
Anything else, Nancy?
Fred, calling you.
Playing video games over there on his phone.
Selectmen's reports, anything?
Last night, we had the 12-town group, and there was one item on the agenda, and that was Superintendent Betsy St. Cyr from Sanford, and one of her school board members made a presentation for a concept for the Great Works Vocational Project, which is an idea of having a regional vocational center. Right now, the regional vocational center at Sanford is overcrowded. They have a waiting list, and they're only able to take youngsters in junior, senior year. Occasionally, they'll take a sophomore. But most of the time, it's just juniors and seniors. This idea for building a regional vocational center is also, would include students in their freshman year, so that they could do a survey course in areas that they may be interested in. So now as it is, you got a junior, a 16-year-old goes in and maybe gets into something like electronics, and finds out after a year doesn't like it. Now he's got 1 year to go, and he may get into drafting. And, now he's 17 and drafting maybe doesn't work out. So he's got out of school, he's had a 1 year exposure to two things, to two areas of vocational areas. This way, you'd get youngsters in their freshman year would have a total, would have maybe 4 or 5 areas of exposure, and then would declare an area of interest in their sophomore year and have 3 years. Also, they're talking about this going right on into college. So it would be a kind of it would go right through 2 to a 4-year college, all in the same area. So students could go in and get into drafting and do a couple of years in high school and go right into college drafting, and maybe even take it right into engineering. So that's the plan, and it hasn't gotten. It's gotten some support by local industry. Pratt & Whitney has signed on, and other companies in York County. So there's an interest in, everybody they talk to is very interested in it. Of course, it's huge money, and where's the money coming from, and how's it going to be raised? That's still in the works. But this is an ongoing project now, and I think I think it has some great merit. I think it has a wonderful opportunity for business development in York County when we get students that are ready for employment and well-trained, and it's a need for students who really have a hard time with non-hands-on learning. And we all know, and probably quite a few of us in this room have had difficulty just sitting there in a classroom, really need to get the hands-on, touch it, to understand it well. And vocational, waiting until you're 16 is getting a late start. If you can take a 14-year-old and get them going and get them interested in school again, this has a great opportunity for kids, and I think a great opportunity for York County development. So anyway, it's a start, and it was everybody in the room was pretty doggone interested in it.
So is this an expansion of the Sanford Regional Vocational Center?
Yeah, what it would be doing is expanding that, is be taking off from it, to be recreating it, kind of.
Is it going to be in Sanford still?
Well, I think they're open for, it's not necessarily tied to Sanford.
So is it,
We have plenty of building space.
is it hooked to, is it hooked to the, the state really, number of years ago did, in southern Maine anyway, the 3 regional vocational centers, right? Bitterford, Sanford, there's one in Portland, Riverside, or something like that, right?
I think there's 2 that are looking at this kind of model. One in Sanford, another one up in Midcoast. So looking at this, it would be a combination high school and college.
What a good idea.
I think it's a great idea. Another problem with Maine is we've got kids who are that in high school they stand up well with any state in the country, but then they don't go on to school.
Right.
So this would be a great opportunity, I think, for kids to get on into school. There's all sorts of possibilities. They didn't talk about these things, but you've got some models like Northeastern University, where you have 13 weeks study and 13 weeks work. And this is something kids could do a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, and end up with an associate's degree and not owe anything, because they're going to be working right along with it in the field that they're going into. So I think it has has some great possibilities. So this is at the very beginning part of it.
Wow, that's great.
Okay. Anything else, John? Anybody got anything else? Committee reports? Let's go into new business here. Committee appointments. What's your pleasure here?
I have a couple more.
I see one here. I'll make a motion to appoint Virginia, I'm trying to figure out the last name.
Schaefer?
Schaefer,
Okay.
Ginny Schaefer.
You guessed it, so I won't mispronounce it. Appoint her to the Old Home Days Committee.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on Virginia Schaefer? Everybody knows who she is, or that she's been on before, right? All those in favor? Opposed? All right.
We have a couple of applications for the Economic Development Committee, and we have one position left on that board. We met with one of the folks tonight, and Chris Bonnett's also put in an application. I'd like to motion that Chris Bonnett be appointed to the Economic Development Committee. I think Chris has a lot to offer the community, not only as a business owner, but also as a resident of the town. He's very involved in the community. I think he has a good idea of what the community needs and wants, and I think that he'd be a great asset to that committee.
I agree, and I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Is this for, which position is this? Is there an insurance position?
No.
Which one is this one for?
It
Open.
ended up just being as
Open citizen.
open. Yeah.
I think, is that you had raised the question earlier this week or something?
Only
Was that-
to, I guess, probably more to Tammy, the direction of the committee, I think it went one way and it went another way, and I'm guessing at this point, it probably really doesn't matter. You're just looking for 7 solid.
Yeah, the way that it ended up being worded when we
Yeah.
got finished tweaking it was that we wanted a cross-section of businesses and residents. So it wasn't specifically spelled out that we wanted a Realtor, a this,
Yeah.
a that.
See, I guess my thing with Chris is, he is stable in this town. He will be here
Yep.
for a number of years, and he has, just because his family is here, his business is here, and I guess that would be my positive for putting Chris on it, is that he is kind of anchored right here in town, so.
Now, is he in a field that's missing in the committee right now?
Yeah,
What he
he
does,
would be.
yeah.
That's general, that's, the field that's missing is just general citizen, isn't it?
Well,
No.
I'm saying what the missing profession is on the committee.
Oh,
Just-
missing profession. I'm not. We got bankers.
Yep.
Any other discussion, comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Okay.
Do we get a note out to the person that applied and thank that person?
Yeah, because she would have been very, very good, too. I'm just kind of wondering about her.
Thank her for her interest
Yeah.
and just tell her that we selected another person.
Yep.
Now, you'll have discussion periods also for the public, I'm assuming, at the meeting, so
Yeah,
there
the
can still
first-
be participation.
Yeah,
from
the first meeting is this Thursday at 3:30, and Steve at Ravenhill graciously offered his meeting room. And I think this first meeting is mostly going to be just everybody introducing themselves and, that initial getting to know you kind of a thing. And then I am setting what the schedule is going to be for future meetings. And then I think really start getting into the meat and potatoes of the committee starting, the next meeting or so.
Yeah, I think the thing you need to guard from is that you don't have meetings when, if there is public interest, that the times are inconvenient for the general
Yeah.
public to get there, so just need to be somewhat cognizant of that. So,
Are they in the morning, or when was the next one?
We hadn't set it,
this one, would you say 3:30 in the afternoon?
yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah, because I know
That's going to bring a lot of general public from it, but...
the Waterboro Association of Business, they found the morning meetings work better, I think, for everybody's schedule before.
Yeah.
But
I'm
it's
not
going
sure
to be
we'll
tough
figure
to
out.
get the public in there at
They're
that
not
point.
necessarily having great participation in the morning.
Not anymore.
either.
We've tried all different things and.
Maybe you just gotta change it up.
Or-
Just have to change it up every once in a while, and then people come for a little bit.
We actually meet on every Wednesday with our business, I don't want to call it business development, but we're doing something different than what the town committee's going to do. We're complementing it, I guess I'd say.
All right. Discuss vote pawnbrokers ordinance.
I'll make a motion, so we'll put it on the table. I'll make a motion that, is this, are we going to approve this or put it out?
Be up for
it's to
approval.
approve it.
It's for,
Okay.
It's to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the Waterboro pawnbrokers ordinance.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Sensing none? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Rescheduled public hearing for solid waste ordinance. Pam and I got kind of talking about this, and that's the reason that both are in your packet tonight. There was some significant change in our opinion from what we feel our ordinance said and what Maine felt it said and needed to be altered. So in order for the committee to really have some input, they're meeting next Monday night. We would not get much feedback if we had a public hearing. I think we were scheduled for the 4th or whatever the case may be. So we really need to kind of like push another week here
it's fine.
or so.
Up to the 11th?
Yeah, and to my view, I would sooner think that we could go even a week after that, like the 18th, so that we get some time to do this and make sure that we're right,
Yep.
okay?
And the committee might have some ideas or suggestions, and we may find that we need to tweak this. I mean, do we have to set the public hearing date now?
No, other than, there's some push from Maine to get it done, and, that was really where that was coming from, is that they would like this 4 or 5, we're one of 4 or 5 towns left that don't have the flow control piece of it built in, and the licensing piece of it built in.
Well, I think at the same time, the budget is a tad bit dependent on it, what we had budgeted for the transfer station and the fees and how we'd be able to charge the fees. We would have to have some type of a permit program in place and changing some fees, so.
So I guess my suggestion is if we did it the 19th, that gives us, at least 2 meetings of the committee and a couple of feedback, at least 1 feedback or 2 feedback sessions to the
You can
board.
always back it up if you need
Yep,
to, too.
that's right. So if everybody's okay with that, I'll have Pam do that.
Sure.
Item 4, discuss vote to sign payment arrangement form. This is another request for make payment arrangements on,
Yeah, I looked at that, and that looks like, with the schedule, that it'd be paid off in 7 months. So that looks like it's pretty workable. I know the ones we looked at before may have stretched on, but I think 8 months, I think it would, the schedule would be.
so what is your,
So I would move that we accept that arrangement.
and do I have a second?
I'll second that one.
All right, any discussion?
Well, I'm going to ask a little bit like what I had asked last week about this. We have, how many mature liens before these properties go out to auction?
3.
And how many does this have?
Right now, if the policy always has been 3, that has changed with the new tax acquired. So I'm not sure why this would have 5,
Yeah.
right? Because really it belongs to the town of Waterboro. For all practical purposes, there's got to be matured tax liens, so Waterboro is really the,
So that's what I'm kind of curious of that. I mean, I was thinking about this afternoon, and when we continue to do the payment arrangements, and on this one, we have 5.
Is that the trailer park?
It may be, I don't know.
Which means that it's a different
Frank Street?
scenario.
Well, it's all that way now. We do not have to wait for 3 mature tax liens. Once there's a mature tax lien, it really becomes a town of Waterboro.
And I'm not saying that I want to take over properties. I'd like to see the taxes paid on time unless there is a hardship. And that's the thing with these payment arrangements, is that we don't have a hardship proven in any way, which we would with an abatement or something along those lines.
Are you talking about the one on Greenwood?
This one is
Frank Street.
Frank.
Oh, okay.
And I'm kind of curious how the payment arrangement would set us up legally if we were. I understand that the lien process continues when we have mature liens, and the properties, would be the town's properties at that point. If we have an existing payment plan that extends out a year past that, or
Well,
something like that, how would that affect
I think
that?
the option that you have here is that we could take the property to auction now, right? Or a traditional August auction, right? And I'm not sure that it hasn't been done before because it's some years old, or can say, which we have the ability to say is, or agree to, is, okay, this person is trying to make an attempt to pay it off, they've set up a payment schedule. In this case, it's pretty favorable, unlike some of the other ones, and we can go through that and look at it that way. But I don't think that, it's going to go to the oldest first. So it would appear that, very quickly here, you're going to
3
see
months.
that, you're going to see that, there's going to be 2 or 3 of these caught up pretty quickly, so.
Yeah, I'm just, and I don't want to take anybody's property away, I'm just
Yep.
curious how it affects us legally if we happen to get one of these that goes over that lien process, and is there a requirement that we go through that process? This one has 5, like we see here, and after 3, we're
Well, it
typically
would be
putting some out to
08
auction.
08 would not be, would 08 now? 08 and 09 are not matured, so it's, 07 is now matured. So it's either, I guess, we enter into an agreement, or we say, well, we're going to take it to auction, basically.
I mean, I think it's, especially here, want to keep this, I realize we haven't gotten taxes in the past 5 years, but if we get paid up within 7 months, and then it's on the tax roll and it gets paid up yearly after that, that's to our benefit rather than taking over the land.
No, and I understand it's to our benefit. What I'm wondering is if there is any, first of all, if there's any legal requirement that we do it after the liens have matured. We have a policy in place that says after 3 mature. And if a payment plan happens to go past that point, are there legal issues for us
But I
with
think
doing a payment plan?
with this one, there's no property involved. There's no land property involved. It's just
I think what
module.
Evan's asking is basically in general,
Yeah.
not specific to this.
Yeah.
I think the tax title, the tax acquired property ordinance that we have today, we do not have to wait for 3. We've
No.
changed that in the mix. So as soon as there is a mature tax lien, which is a change now, is that we have the right to dispose of that property, right? So we either work on a payment arrangement, or we take it to auction or some other arrangement,
I
right?
think I hear what is we want to be consistent.
Right.
Yep.
And so, right now, I think what we've got is, we've gotten these things up and we've accepted them, but the question is are we want to be consistent with these people and the next people that come along, that we're not do one thing with one person and
Right.
another with someone else, and then get ourselves into a bit of a jam, because you say, okay, we set precedent here, why aren't you doing it from there?
Right.
And if you want to talk a little bit of precedent, historically, we've said we're taking these properties to auction, and we've always allowed that person to come in before the auction and pay that off. right? Or into an agreement, all right? So I'm not sure that this is not consistent with what we've done in the past,
Anyway,
in my opinion.
got a motion?
There is a motion on it,
And I...
and there's a second.
And I seconded it.
Second, okay.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? All right, I think Tom grabbed Commissioner Cole here, so let's do our last piece here, which was in old business, discuss vote on a request to purchase a lot. I think there's now more information that is in that package relative to the request. And also the historical data of the stuff, so.
I think one of the things we'd asked for was when this went to auction, was
Yeah.
he the second bidder?
Not sure. I don't see that here, so.
But he's looking for a price right now. And it seems to me that the price is $1775.77.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that's where we would have started the auction at that point anyways.
Yes. So,
I can tell you, I believe this lot, that's how these people bought it in the first place, is at an auction?
Yeah,
And they can get clear title?
Oh, is that
Oh,
right?
really?
so it did get auctioned last year, or at least there was a winner of the bid. He put some percentage down to hold the thing and then walked away from it.
Yep.
Okay? There was no money put down by a second bidder. So for all practical purposes, there was no second bidder, right, at the auction. We had a successful bidder, they paid 10% of what they bid down. He chose to walk away and he forfeited that money. So the lot now is back in the town, it's in the town rolls, and we have the right to sell it for back taxes or bring it to auction this current year. So I think the price becomes what is owed.
Yeah. I'll
Because
make
that's what we would open the auction with.
What was the issue with the title, Nancy, do you know? I mean, is
I'd
that
have
something we're going to run into again?
When I saw the name, I remember them coming in, buying it at auction, and they couldn't get clear title, and they wanted their money back.
Well,
And it's like,
that doesn't happen, right?
no, that doesn't happen.
and this is not a buildable lot.
This is the...
Right.
So, and the person that's requesting it, the intention is to just merge the two lots
And-
together.
Right.
I think this, I'd have to check now that I think about this, because they bought it because they was in a butter. So, might be the person that bought their place now wants this one.
Well, that's up to them to resolve the
Yeah.
Title.
Yeah,
legality
he
of the
came in
title.
every year. They would come in every year for about 3 years.
Yep.
Want their money back.
I'll make a motion that we sell the property at the amount of $1,775.77, the amount that's owed on the taxes.
I will second that. The question I have, I just want to make sure that if he gets that piece of property, that he doesn't have enough land to subdivide and have a second
No,
building.
I'm assuming you want it to be attached to his,
From what I understand, he was
be
going to...
combined with the lot that he has now.
Yeah,
Well, let me offer this up. I know in the past, we always put in the deed a covenant that said that this lot shall not be used as a residential, but I can't remember what the clause was.
Can use as a garage or a
Garage,
shed, but you can't
right.
use the residential.
So,
And it's be combined with the lot.
right.
Yep.
And Mike, was this the lot, we had a request at Lake Arrowhead, didn't we, for a lot? I'm not sure. Thought he was going to add it on and then put a garage or something like that.
Whatever you'd like. A lot of them come by me, and I can't place it. you would know, you know, you probably signed off and
Yeah, I think I
off on it
remember seeing
before I
that.
did. There's a few of them. I'm not sure you want to give me street address and so forth. That might help me a little bit, but
I think it's Greenwood. It's just, it sounds familiar. I don't think we've taken any action on it, but I think we told them to go to the town.
doesn't ring a bell right off the top. Sorry.
All right.
So moved and second to sell the lot to the requester, in the amount of what is owed, total amount.
1775, 77.
All those in favor? Opposed? Done. We have some guests with us this evening. And I'm going to turn the introductions over to our studious town planner, infamous town planner, Tom Marissa. Tom?
Eloquent.
Yeah,
Town
yes,
planner.
it's
Eloquent.
eloquent town planner. There's some inside jokes, it's Commissioner Cole, so. The floor is yours, Tom.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tonight, Town Administrator. You want me to-
At the podium, so they can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. That's the first time they've asked me to do this, Dave, to come up here and
Usually we're asking you to, is that all you have?
you usually say, enough?
That's because that has a shut-off button.
Good one.
We're going to start again. Good evening. It's a special night for Town Administrator and the Board of Selectmen because we have an opportunity to share some thoughts with Commissioner David Cole, and sitting next to him on his right, John Cannell, who's been the district manager in Scarborough DOT for the last 2 years. As you're all aware, David Cole has been Commissioner DOT for the last 6 years. And tonight, David and John, I want to first start off by offering a really special thank you. We've been working on several projects over the last year, most particularly on West Road. And John, your staff over in Scarborough have just been remarkable. Very responsive. Every time that we need some help or a question answered or a little bit of political lobbying in Augusta, we know exactly to go over and talk with your folks. And
Tell them what road we rode before you moved.
now, I hope you both got a chance to ride over West Road tonight before you came over.
I refer lovingly to the regional managers as pirates.
And David and I have met over the years, and I find him to be not only a remarkable commissioner, but just an outstanding gentleman who's been very helpful. I have to not only thank your staff, but also Cheryl, who works in your office, as being just an exceptional woman who's been very accommodating and very helpful throughout this whole process. So tonight, I'm going to say just a few words, because the chairman always thinks that I'm a little bit too loquacious, and I wanted to reserve most of the time for...
What was that word? I need to write that down.
for the Board of Selectmen to share some thoughts with you and our town administrator, as well as anyone else that's in the audience. And also have a chance for both you, Dave, and John to say anything that you'd like to about the upcoming projects. Again, we're very grateful for the time and dedication and resources that you've poured into our town. So thank you. Who would like to, would you like to do a little bit of a couple opening remarks?
Come on up, John. We're on TV. Would you like us up front here, or?
Yeah, it's best there. We do have a strong following on TV that...
Mr. Chairman, can you turn this on now?
Yeah, we'll now turn it on, right?
There we go. Well, good evening, all. Pleased to be here tonight. Tom and I ran into each other in Sanford a few years back when they were contemplating a casino, and I decided it'd probably be a good idea to drive those roads to see what might all happen that had come forth. But I know this area, in the Waterboro area, or this part of the county, you're seeing a lot of growth, and you're probably seeing a lot of outward growth from the cities, the coastal cities, Portland, Scarborough, Gorham, out this way. And I'm sure it puts a lot of pressure on your planning and on your infrastructure. We're, as a department, as you all know, we're pretty stretched. Maine's a big state, lots of roads. Somebody was telling me the roads are better in New Hampshire. Of course, I always hear that, because I go to New Hampshire, the people are telling them there the roads are better in Maine, and the roads must be wonderful up in Canada. So, I deal with that, but the reality is we've got about the same population as New Hampshire, and got twice as many roads and bridges, so we are stressed. However, we depend a lot on our regional folks, such as John, and his counterparts around the state to be our eyes and ears, work with the communities. Because we have a lot of smart and hardworking people up in Augusta, and they're focusing on things like what's the best way to, attack our bridge inventory, because we all know we need to upgrade our bridges, and the best way to, maintain and build roads. But there's no substitute for the local, connection. And that's John's job, is to maintain that, and he does it with good humor, until he's not in good humor. Anyway, it's
Still a good humor, right?
and when I refer to him as a pirate, I put that in the best of all contexts, because our regional managers, their job is to advocate for their regions, and they are quick to let us know when there's an opportunity in their region. We did a little driving around earlier for the meeting, and over on West Road, right?
West Road, yeah.
And obviously, there's a lot of riprap and drainage work that's been done in anticipation of the paving. And John and his people have taken great pride, in the work that's being done there. And we went around, and you're a big town, aren't you? How many people live in Waterboro?
7,200.
7,200, and probably 20 years ago, that was half of that?
Gosh,
Yeah.
So I have to admit, I had a fellow I lived with in college at my fraternity house who was from Waterboro, and my impression 35 years ago, it was a pretty small place back then, so I'm sure it's grown. His last name was Chick. Any
Oh,
Chicks
really?
around?
Yeah, Roger.
Yeah.
Roger, or his...
Chicks all over.
Yeah, his name was Ken.
Oh, Ken, yeah.
I'm not touching that one. Actually, his name was Ken Chick, and know my age. And he always spoke fondly of this place, but I always visioned it being the country hamlet. And I can see that 70. Wow, that's you've seen a lot of growth, and it's spread out. So, John, perhaps you want to talk about what's on the agenda?
Sure. Well, at first, I'd just like to thank Tom for the kind words for our staff, and I will let him know, because sometimes when you're in the region, it feels like a lot of times you're driving that truck with a 1-800 number on the back. Does anybody think to dial that when, oh, he let me in, that was so nice, let me dial the 1-800 number? It doesn't happen as often as you'd like it to happen. And so I will convey the praise to them. And as we were talking about outside, I'm blessed to work with these folks. And most of these folks are on what we call our project development side of the house. And they're second to none. They really do a good job for us. And they bail me out all the time. Some of the things we're going to be working on this summer, we're going to finish up some drainage work and pipe work on West Road. And I believe what turns into South Road is on the paving list. I mean, obviously, those are pending available funding. But we are optimistic that they'll go. If you didn't know, we did some strut work on the beginning of West Road, right there by the store, the big, large culvert that goes under. We lined that, and those are the kind of things that we don't get a lot of attention for, because it's not black and sit on the top of the road. But those are the things that really keep me up at night, because that was in bad shape. I think that pretty much covers it. We're going to do a little bit of what we call an RRI project on West Road, which is just a continuation of the work we've been doing, to kind of flatten a little bit of a hill and change the alignment a little bit, which should help improve the safety of the road before we do the paving. But like Dave said, I mean, we look forward to working with you. We're going to use the resources we have to improve our roads, improve the facilities we have, and thanks for the kind words. We do appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate it, and I don't want to speak for the board, but we, one of the things that we're very, very encouraged with in dealing with Tom and his dealings with you, and it does make a difference, I think, if we have an advocate for us in town, and it's not 5 different voices. So Tom has has really kind of spoke with one voice for the board here, and we appreciate the efforts that, you know, number one, on the road, that we're going to participate with you on funding, but certainly we're looking forward to the opportunity to do the surface maintenance, or have you do that surface maintenance all the way through to the Lyman line. So we're very encouraged with that, and as you can see in this community, we're really a crossroads. We've got, you know, 202 and the 202 corridor and Route 5, you know, so we've got really two major, you know, feeder roads that, you know, there's a lot of traffic that drives from this community to the coast or to the greater Portland area. So, and we really see that kind of traffic from a multitude of towns, not to say the least that we've got 1,500 and some odd students that get bused into the community because the regional high school and the regional middle school is here. So roads become very important to us, and we, like any other community and the state, are very, very stretched. And unfortunately, when you get to an emotional town meeting, roads kind of get sacrificed sometimes for some other programs. So, you know, we're trying to see how to find our way not to necessarily just say, oh, yeah, we need 100,000 so off the budget. So Fred, you don't get any sanding money this year. So those are the kind of things that we're trying to balance in our tight budgets, and we understand that certainly on a state level there's only so much money, and you know, so the municipalities, so we're screaming at, you know, Representative Joe Wagner here is saying, you know, state's got to cut, and at the same time, you know, we're looking for the state to participate in our community too. So you can cut in those other counties, you know,
That's right.
and bring it to York County. So we're thrilled that, you know, we have the opportunity to see some work coming our way, and we appreciate that.
And can I just say, Tom he was very excited about working with both of you and getting you down here to talk to us, and he's been a good liaison for the town, and he feels that you, too, are a great liaison to helping us get what we need, so we do appreciate it.
Well, let me just say that, you know, you were talking about the 800 number on the truck. I mean, in the end, we sometimes I've used the analogy, we're like the furnace in the basement, the DOT. It's like you just don't think about it, you know. It's the last time you had somebody come over to your house and you say, hey, come down and see my furnace. I'd do that. I'm nerdy enough to do that. But, you know, but until it breaks, then it's it's January below zero, and it's the most important priority you have. And, right, people don't call me and say, hey, Dave, your bridge worked well today. It just doesn't work that way. And I commend you for having a town planner, because not every town does. Before I got into this transportation position, my former job, I headed up a regional economic development and planning group, headquartered up in Bangor. And, I could see that, it took us years to integrate land use and economic development together, but the third leg of that's transportation. Because let's face it, your economy runs off transportation. Nothing moves without transportation. Since I've been at the Maine DOT, I've had a big effort to try to integrate all three. So I'm a big believer in good planning. Good planning is good business. And if I learned nothing in my career in economic development, is private investors are looking for places that are well planned and thought out. They don't want to come into a place that doesn't have its act together. You know, the investment comes quicker to those areas that have a business park, have ordinances, have a comprehensive plan, and have thought these things through. And for us, as we're looking at transportation investments around the state, we don't want to have to build the bypass to the bypass, because, you loaded it up and created the same problem all over again. So our objective is to work around the state and try to invest smartly, and that means working with the towns, because it may be our road, but it's your town. And so we've got to work together.
Well, I'd like to Oh, I'd like to thank you for your work, definitely on the West Road and also the South Waterboro Road there. Those have been the roads since I've been selectman that I received the complaints on. And it's anywhere from with the buses traveling over, parents have, so that creates a dangerous situation. We have teenage drivers going down those roads, and you have it easy today if you took a ride on them. You try it in the wintertime with the frost heaves, and you'll feel a little bit differently.
Having two 17-year-olds just got their licenses, I relate to that.
You try that down that sloping road on a nice bumpy pothole, and
That's
it
a better
starts
ride than
getting-
what you can get at an amusement park.
Yeah.
Oh,
Except
when they
it costs
when
more
they get the
usually.
right tires over the side, you get a 3-foot drop-off, like they do on the West
We have
Road.
a technical term for that, we call it a whoop-de-doo.
But we definitely appreciate all of your efforts, and I'm sure you don't hear any compliments ever, but if you do have an 800 number, it's on TV tonight, and you can list that off.
Give him John's home.
Anytime with that kind of stuff.
I'm sure you'll get some compliments on any work that you do down there, but we definitely appreciate it. That's one of the most serious road issues that we have in town. Of course, we have others, so if you feel inclined to help out with anything else in the future, Tom will be willing to give you a list.
We're not ready for a calming circle.
It never hurts to get people out to your community, and I can't go to every community in the state. It's just 497 of them, although I've gotten around to a lot, but, it never hurts to get people out, and, most Maine people appreciate what we do. Even people who, as they're complaining to me about their pothole or their road, the other side of their mouth is saying, well, I know you got no money, you don't have any money. I mean, people do appreciate it. It's just we all get frustrated from time to time. But it's John and his folks that have to deal with it, most closely. And they're generally very patient people. Generally. So I appreciate you inviting us out here tonight. And Tom assured Cheryl, my assistant, no, this is very positive. And I said, well, doesn't have to be positive.
I bet you were wondering on your way over what you were in.
No.
Tammy, Joe?
Waterboro has had a 400% increase in growth in the past 30 years. We're now the second fastest growing community in the state of Maine. And I think we're on a track where we're really looking at moving forward. We have an economic development committee that's going to be starting up. We'll be having our first meeting this week. The Selectmen set annual goals, and one of our goals for last year was to implement a road surfacing program, something we hadn't done before. And we have a very active road review committee, and we're introduced to the RSMS system. And one of the key parts of getting that system up and running and getting those guys out to do a road inventory was getting them some training so that everybody was on the same page. Tom made a call to DOT, and Jerry Douglas came and spent a morning with us and did a class with several of folks on our road review committee. And since then, they've gone out, they've inventoried everything in town, and we actually have, we're documenting everything, and it's just a tremendous program. But the key to getting that done certainly was having Jerry come down and spending that time and explaining all of the different things that, alligator cracks and what everything is and whatnot. So thank you very much for that.
Sure. Road scholars, right?
Yes.
And the first thing they teach you is drainage.
Yes, that's
Yes.
all. Water is bad.
Water is good.
I took that course when I came.
But it's looking at going forward and growing our community. Certainly the 5 and 202 corridors are going to be very important to us, and I think it's wonderful that we have this open line of communication with you folks now, and I think that this is going to be something that's going to benefit the town very much into the future.
Yeah, I mean, some people think that, if you call Augusta, you can't get through to anybody, but, and I'm not, it's not like I'm sitting by my phone all day waiting for it to ring, we're busy people, but on the other side of it, my assistant Cheryl and I, we get back to most people who call or get them to the right person. So, never take that for granted. If you don't ask, you know what the outcome will be.
And I do have to add to that because I've worked with DOT on the project. First part of the West Road, the intersection down here, and Townhouse Road. And whenever, they've always come in and kept us informed of what's going on. If they're running into problems, they would come in and say, hey, we get this problem. Or if we had a question, we called and somebody always got back to us.
Yep.
Always have.
Well, that's what we strive for. It doesn't always happen. It's like any group of people. Some are better at it than others, but we try to have a culture, a service culture. And it's like it's like being the dentist, though, when you're filling potholes or cavities all day. Sometimes, you can get frustrated, but for the most part, it's not like our people wake up in the morning and say, who can we tick off today? Or that we enjoy cutting trees down for the sake of cutting trees down.
Up in Thomaston or...
Yeah, Warren. And, we try to never take the public for granted, because the public, if you communicate and you educate and work with the public, you look at last year up on 295 between Gardner and Brunswick, we actually shut down 18 miles of interstate. And we were able to do that because we worked with the local communities, we worked with the tourism industry, the LL Beans. We worked, and there were just some people who thought, how can you do that? It was going to be Armageddon. And it worked out. It worked out, but it only worked out because we worked to communicate with the public, we got their trust, and they got their cooperation. Now, that's a big example of it, but again, you got to make that effort, and you got to trust the public, because if they understand the benefit, usually people will, if they understand that a little bit of hardship, like in this case for a summer, beat having 3 construction seasons. So we also have a philosophy we call get in, get out, and stay out, if we can do that. So we try to work around the communities. People, time is money, and people need our systems to get to work, or both their lives or business, and we have to be mindful of when we're doing, when we're affecting traffic, what time of year, what the local economy is like. So we try to do those things, but never take it for granted. If there's a concern, call, because we don't know where, believe it or not, we don't know where every pothole is. And sometimes, the people out, it's good to have people out in the public to remind us, right, John?
We won't find them all, I can guarantee that.
Well, good. We do have Representative Wagner here this evening with us, who is our state rep. And Joe, I don't know if you want to say anything?
I just would like to say thank you for appearing here tonight. And thank you very much for your appreciation for this community, that the roads are connectors throughout the rest of the state. Westboro is where the schools are located, there's the high school is located. The growth of this community has been fantastic, as you do appreciate. That this roadway, South Waterboro Road in particular, is a important commuting route. And I know we were saying a whole lot of thank yous here, but it is important. It is the right thing to do. And Tom and I were talking about that, because that's the way we were brought up. And get an appreciation for one another, and that's what makes things work a lot better.
Appreciate that, Representative, and you can be sure the representative knows where to find us.
I got an old-time road commissioner that's waving at me from out
Are we
there.
ever going to get anything down on Route 5? I was promised 20 years ago we we're going to have that piece of road rebuilt, and I'm still waiting. I'm going to be 90. I don't want to be 100 before I see it. From East Waterboro up to North Waterboro. Route 5.
Willis is a former state representative and a former state senator, and it
Route 5.
it would always come down every spring and tell us that we
Some
could
of
rebuild the road.
Law, L-O-Y-D, spring, come on. It's born on Christmas Day. But really, they promised me when I was in the legislature that they'd build that road, and I got a little work done up in Cornish and Limerick, but I never got anything done here in Waterboro. That road needs to be, there's a lot of traffic, and you know as well as I do in summertime, you get all these Canadians, you know, they only hit High Park Road, you know, when they're driving down through there. It needs to be rebuilt, and we need something, because we got 2 schools now on that road. It needs to be rebuilt, and to get some place for bicycles or people to walk.
I think Tom was just whispering in my ear, I think it's in the 6-year plan right now. So it means it's a candidate project, and
Anything I can do to help you, let me know,
Do that, Willis.
because we need it done, really. There's a lot of traffic. When you take Limerick, Cornish, Newfield, Leamington, all come down Route 5.
Yep.
It's true. It needs to be done. It needs to be done.
I'm not sure if it's mine or not. I think it probably is mine, yeah.
Yeah. I just say that we've got about 200 miles of roads similar to this around the state. If you classify our roads in the state, you start with the interstate, then you go down to the arterials. And we classify roads as built and unbuilt. And when we say unbuilt, essentially the country in 1956 defined what a built road should look like, what a modern standard is. So basically, if it's unbuilt, it hasn't really been rebuilt since the 50s, right? And we've got about 200 miles of road in that same category. It costs about $3 million a mile to build it up to a modern standard. That's not our prices, that's low bid prices. It varies depending on whether it's in town or out in the country. So you do the math on that, you see it's about $600 million to try to bring that class of roads up. That along with all the other competing needs. So we're chipping away at it.
How much money in stimulus is coming to Yorktown?
Exactly.
For the penny, please.
For road? Nothing.
No, it's a couple
Zero?
million. I can't remember. I have to, no, but the stimulus, and let me put some light on this. I know as much as the stimulus money's been in the news a lot, and it was $130 million for roads and bridges for the state of Maine, which is gratefully received, very timely, but it's only temporary money. And just to put it in perspective, our capital work program for the next 2 years is over $800 million. So the $139 million was just a snapshot. So if you look at the work, in fact, I think we got, 70-something million in New York County in the next
Of
work?
total work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, people out there in TV land. I've got to get that figure, but it's substantial. We're doing 109 over in Wells.
That needs to be, that's a bad.
We're doing 112, Saco to Buxton. I mean, we're doing some
We
substantial
got more
work.
traffic on more than 112 on this Route 5, I can tell you that.
Yep. Well,
A lot more traffic.
we're chipping away at them as we can. So we agree with you, the legislature agrees with you. It's just a matter of resources, and we're trying to take them on as we can.
Just tell me I'm going to get it done before I croak.
Now, I was in a meeting, first month I was on the job up in Dennisville, Maine, up in Washington County, and a gentleman, an old timer up there, said a similar thing to me. And I just got a note from him. He said, "You remember me? I was the guy who said I was waiting for the road." Well, his road just got finished.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm waiting then.
So we made good at least in that situation.
If you give Willis your 800 number, he'll give you.
Hey, I'll shake your hand. How long were you road commissioner?
I was road commissioner for 4 years.
4 years?
I was in the legislature 12.
Wow, you're on the transportation committee?
No, I was on the Natural Resource Committee, and I was on, when I was in the Senate, I was chair of the Natural Resource and on Agriculture.
Yep, so you've seen all the changes going on around here.
Oh,
Who was governor back then? Who was governor back then? Who was the governor?
well, there was King, and the fellow married
McKernan.
Brennan, and
Brennan.
Brennan, when I first named Brennan was governor.
Yep. Wow.
Willis is a little older than you are. He looks about 75, but he's a little older than that.
How old are you, Willis?
90.
Are you really?
Doesn't look
He's
it.
not going anywhere, so.
No, it's not.
Before this road project.
Well, we'll see if before, who's that guy on the Today Show that does the birthdays?
Willis.
Willis Scott. We'll see if we can beat Willard on that.
Well, we appreciate your time and Commissioner, and certainly, if you've got a few minutes, as we wrap down here, we do have the Chairman of the Road Review, Dustin Holt, and then the Road Commissioners very quietly sitting in the back, so
Great.
maybe you can take a few minutes, we can break up to have a chat.
Sure.
Go from there. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Very much. We're a little late on this, but would like, who's going to make this presentation?
Bridget?
Bridget, I'll turn it over to you.
I'm sit up here. I have the pleasure to present this year's 2009 Eco Excellence Award to Leo Bennett and Sandy Bennett of Lakeside Market. And what they have done is such a model, I believe, for what businesses can do, that I'd like to read the accomplishments that earned them this award. They have a high degree of environmental protection measures in place. The very name of the business, Lakeside, defines the sensitivity of the potential environmental impact of a market and a gas station's operations so close to a body of water, Little Ossipee Lake, and beyond that, Lake Arrowhead, with its densely populated community. In all areas of its operation, the Bennetts have invested in state-of-the-art environmental protections. From the vapor recovery boots on the gas pump nozzles to high-tech monitoring equipment that sends an email alarm to Leo's phone at the detection of any leak or spill, the owners are doing all they can to ensure safe and environmentally responsible operation of the 28,000-gallon capacity gas services. In terms of recycling, all cooking oils from the food department of Lakeside have been recycled for over 10 years through Baker Commodities, where they are turned into dog food, soap, and biofuels. That's quite a diverse set of products. By instituting cardboard recycling, the trash the store generates has been cut in half. They've decreased their energy use. Another area of focus has been the reduction of energy use throughout the business, which has resulted in a savings of $10,000 in the past year. Some of these initiatives included changing all lights to CFLs and T8 fluorescent tubes, which provide brighter light at a lower cost. Digital thermometers in the building have controlled propane use and saved over $3,000 this past year. A large part of the products sold at Lakeside are cold beverages of all types. By constantly keeping refrigeration units clean, maintaining tight door seals, and replacing small individual coolers with large multiple door units, the fewer compressors involved have taken much less energy. They use many biodegradable products and materials. Cleaning products used in the operation are biodegradable. And while Leo and Sandy have looked into biodegradable food containers, they're still very expensive, and each container would add 20 cents to the cost of the item. Suppliers like Cisco do have corn-based food containers, but in addition to their price, they are not able to hold hot foods like hot coffee or soup. They would melt. So this is hopefully an area of future growth as the sciences are perfected. And in addition, Lakeside and the Bennetts are all-around good community members. In addition to these practices of energy efficiency and safety, the Bennetts contribute greatly to building a sense of community in Waterboro. With their countless contributions to the Parks and Rec Department, local community and sports programs, the Waterboro Library, the Waterboro Association of Businesses, and as major sponsors of the annual Little Ossipee FET Ice Fishing Tournament. So Maine and the Transfer Station and Recycling Committee of Waterboro are pleased and proud to award this Eco Excellence Award to Leo and Sandy, who is home with Caleb, Bennett of Lakeside Market. Okay. we'll take a picture outside afterwards. So, thanks for listening, folks. And this is a good model for what any business in town or anywhere can do. And not only is it environmentally friendly and wonderful, saved you a bunch of bucks.
Yes.
Win-win.
I'd just like to say a few words about Bridget. I think she's a great citizen in this community. I thank her for nominating us, and I thank you for all the work you do on the different committees, library and our recycling committee. And what she does in the recycling committee has made us want to be a better business. So I thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay?
See, Bridget, you do make a difference.
Well, some fine words.
Thank you, and we really, I think we've said this before to both Leo and Sandy, we really appreciate the piece that they play in helping hold this community together, so, and certainly appreciate that. We just got a couple of things to vote on here, and I think that we'll wrap it up. We need to vote to sign warrants and bills for payroll.
So moved.
All those in favor? Vote to sign the minutes of 4:14.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor? Any items for next week's agenda?
Are you interested in that program?
Yeah, I think,
Can we
do
just
we
have to
need,
go
do we
ahead to
need
do
to,
it?
I would say just go ahead with it, Willis, unless you need a
Yeah.
vote from us.
Okay.
I would say,
Okay,
okay.
definitely go ahead. I have a few things.
Yeah.
Want to see if we can either talk about or just do it to televise the budget meetings. And to also invite the Finance Committee to any other committee workshops or workshops that we have with different committees in the future.
Okay.
I think the finance, the budget meetings now really should be televised, because
Yep.
I think we're really getting into the final parts of this, and we're getting down to making some, finalizing some decisions.
Yep.
They'll be boring, but, at least then
Probably
everybody
won't be.
can follow the process at this
Yep.
point.
Probably won't
And
be boring.
also,
not for
Matt had come to us some weeks ago about the fire department. I don't know if he asked you to put it
That's
on.
fine, go for it.
We were, Nancy, Cindy, and I were on the office beforehand, but he wanted to sell that engine there, the
Engine two.
Engine 2.
So we'll
And
put
if
that
we
on.
Put that on the next
Yeah,
agenda.
I don't think, do we know, from televising the workshop, we got a workshop Thursday night, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
There should be no reason,
Is that
that
5
as
o'clock?
long as David's available to
I'm not sure.
5:30, I think is,
Well,
well, I mean,
it was
we moved
5
it.
last week.
Right, because
Yeah,
there was
because
some
of-
issues.
That's fine, so I just want to know what time.
So as long as-
5:30?
What is it that happened last week? Because I was asked by people, I didn't even expect it to be at that time.
We were originally going to be here, and there was a ZBA,
Yeah.
right? So we got kind of pulled to 5 o'clock, and then the last minute, that room freed up over at the other side, so that was kind of, and I'm not sure that, other than the
Well, the-
change of venue was talked about, it just kind of went without saying that it was at 5, but, I think we need to,
We did last Tuesday night, we
Right.
discussed if it was at 5.
Yeah.
Well, I mentioned it was
5:30 this
right.
Thursday.
We had,
Here.
yeah, they've been at 5:30, they've been here.
Yeah.
Last week, we couldn't use this room.
Yeah.
So it's 5:30
30.
in this room
This room,
Thursday night.
Thursday night.
All right.
Remember that.
And David, if you're available, we can, or you can just turn the TV's camera on and we'll record it or whatever. But, anything else for next week's agenda? We'll bring engine 2.
The Route 5 widening project?
Willis has something to say.
It needs to be done,
No,
Yeah.
no question.
No, we all
Willis.
agree.
Good for you, Willis.
Anything else?
You don't keep hauling, you're not going to get it done.
I'm sure something, maybe we can at least have the first pass from the Transfer Station Committee on the ordinance. It'll be rough, but they're meeting Monday night. What else?
Dennis, are you going to talk with Kevin on the things that you don't like in the budget?
Yeah, we're gonna try to go through those to make sure that they agree, and we're gonna, my view, and I think that, at least from the committee's perspective, and I don't want to speak for every member, but we have an ordinance. We need to incorporate some things that Eco Maine would like to see. I don't see us throwing that one out and saying, oh yeah, Eco Maine wrote this one, so we'll bring that one in. I think it's a matter of how do we merge into ours what they want, so. And then we'll go back to Kevin and they'll have to say yes or no. I mean, we both use the same law firm, so I'm not sure that there's an issue with the wording of it, so.
I was going to say, it's the same law firm, so there shouldn't be any extra cost to the town.
Okay, items needing signature, warrants and bills for payroll, minutes of 4:14, concealed weapons applications, appointment papers, and the payment arrangement forms. Reminders, Finance Committee, tomorrow night, 6:30 PM over at the Town Hall. Land Trust here, at the Town Hall, 7 PM. Thursday night, or Thursday afternoon, 3:30, Economic Development Committee at the Ravenhill Orchard Meeting Room. At 5:30, Board of Selectmen's workshop here on the budget. At 6:30, Garden Club at the Town Hall. At 7 PM, Old Home Days Committee at the Town Hall. At 7 PM, Libraries Trustee in the library. Saturday, 8:30 AM, the ever-popular cribbage tournament at the Town Hall. Monday, the 27th, Transfer Station Committee at the Town Hall, 6 PM, and that's specifically to look at the rewrite of the ordinance. Tuesday, April 26th, 6 PM, 28th, 6 PM, Town Selectmen's meeting here at the Town Hall Annex.
Dennis, if I can just add, we also have, just as a reminder, I know it wasn't up at the top there for announcement, but Firewise Community.
Oh, yeah.
We have applications that are due, I believe it is May 8th. They will be doing chipping on the 9th and the 12th. And what the brush chipping is, it's a free service that will be provided to Waterboro residents. You do need to go and either pick up an application at the central station. Today I did speak with Matt, and he had emailed a copy over to David, and it is up on the town website on the right column up at the top. That there is a PDF. It explains the program a little bit more and has an application. There's also one on the Lake Arrowhead website, as we had participated last year in Lake Arrowhead. And it was a great success last year, and it works out for everybody. We cut down on the fire danger in the community by getting rid of those ladder fuels that caused the problem back. Willis would remember the fires that we had mid-1900s. We don't need something like that again. But it is a free service. You just put the brush out at the road, and they're chipping anything I've seen up to 10 inches, I think, was some of the stuff that they were chipping. There'd be 2 chipping crews. You can either keep the wood chips, where they do remove them, and they reuse them for pellets.
So if you're bringing in, if you're bringing something in, you need to have an application made out before?
Yeah, you just take your brush, you put it out to the road, you either go to the fire station, you print off an application at home, and what the application is for is just for the grant process. That's how they get their money to fund the program. They need to show that it works.
Now, if a person showed up with a trailer full of brush,
Well, you do it right.
Can they make out a sheet there?
They're coming to your house. So it's not even a matter of having a trailer. If you're doing yard cleanup and you have branches, any type of brush, you just put it right out at the road. You fill out an application. They'll come by your place on chipping day, and you're done.
And
So
that's
no,
all the Arrowhead?
Very sweet.
it's Arrowhead, but they are doing Waterboro as well. So I, encourage anybody. I know we've had a bad year for trees. This is the time to get rid of it, and it's free of charge. It's a win-win situation for everybody in this and that they had fallen trees this year.
Now, what if you live on a private road? They'll come down a private
Everybody,
road?
No, not where you are.
Not where I am.
except for your road.
Okay.
Anything else, Evan? All set? I'd entertain a motion.
A motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Thank you, folks.